Yo, 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 what's going on? It's your boy Kezin. We are back again. Today we're going to be talking about wizard clicky items for TLP servers. If you like this video, please make sure to like it and also please subscribe to the channel. This isn't going to be every single clicky item available, and this one may not be a complete comprehensive list. The goal of this list here is to make sure that all the best clickies are included, or ones that are like at least moderately useful. You might not want to get all of these. But if I do end up changing something, make sure you check out the website, and you'll have the latest list will always be on the website. We're just going to go down by era, and let's start in Classic and get going. So the first one is the Eye of Inaruk. This is going to give you a chill sight clicky instant cast. It's not a super high priority, it's kind of optional. Next we have J Boots. This is high priority. This is going to give you a run speed increase. This is a no-brainer right here. Next we have Shield of the Immaculate. This is probably a low priority for a wizard, but if you do get it, it gives you right-click Cure Disease, which is a nice little quality of life buff. Next we have Staff of Temperate Flux. This is going to be a super high priority for a wizard. This is a quest. It's going to give you a right-click instant cast, fire and cold resist debuff, which is really nice. Move on to Kunark. For Kunark we have Bracer of the Hidden. This is a right-click see invisible item. It's probably medium to low priority. You don't have to have this. It's not going to like make or break anything, but it is nice to have it. We have Dizok Escape Staff. This is probably medium priority. This is more of a quality of life item because it has Evacuate on it, but it's kind of a long cast time. But it is kind of nice because you don't have to memorize evac if you just kind of want to get your group out of there. Maybe when it's not an emergency, this is a good item to use. Mana Robe's probably really good for a wizard. There's probably no other class this is better for than a wizard. Sorry, my phone went off there. So this is going to give you mana, and it's going to give you mana in exchange for HP. It's going to give you 60 HP for 20 mana, so you can just spam this while you're on a mount. It's awesome. Next we have Ring of Stealthy Travel. It's going to give you a right-click Gather Shadows with only a 2-second cast time, so this is like a self-only invis. I would highly recommend getting this. Next, I don't know which one of these two actually still drops. I just found two items, the same name with this, a different name but the same effect. But they both drop off of Bloodthirsty Rancor and Vision's Peak. And this is going to be a right-click fire direct damage. It's going to do 400 damage, which is quite a bit. And it also is a negative 300 resist check, so it's going to be really hard for mobs to resist this. So if you run out of mana, this is a pretty decent item to spam. Next we just have the Wizard Epic. It's good in Kunark era, but after that it's really not as good. The clicky on it is a rune. I think it's 800 points, which is actually pretty substantial. And it also will give you 2 mana regen. So I'd pick that up if you can. It's just a nice piece to have for the wizard class. I'll move on to Velius. For resist, you can get all these different flowers. It's probably a low priority for a wizard, and I'm not sure if they stack with the elemental barrier or line of spells. I haven't actually tested it, but if you want, you can get all these. There's like some farming you got to do, and they're like a little quest in Plane of Mischief. Next is probably medium to low priority for a wizard, Holgresh Elder Beads. You can pick these up if you want to Ayazam clicky to scout around. Next we have the Sages set. Now this is the Sages set is the Thurgood armor in Velius, and some of these are better than the others. We have the boots, which give you O'Keel's Radiation, which is like a low level damage shield. It's kind of like a toy basically. Sage's Bracelet will give you Chill Sight, so if you don't get Eye of Inaruk, you can get this if you need some night vision. Sage's Pantaloon, this is the best item in the set. It's going to give you instant cast Elemental Armor, so that's really nice. I would pick those up for sure. And lastly, Sage's Robe. It's got a direct damage for 500 damage on it, and it's a negative 100 resist check if I remember properly. But the cast time on this is really long, and I think one of the three, depending on which one you go with, the cast time might be 24 seconds on one of them or 25. On this one it's 28, but you can get it from either Thurgood, Plane of Growth, or Kale, or Sky Shrine, and you can get it from a lot of different places, different names. So that's completely optional, but I would definitely pick up the legs here. Next are two more optional items. This one's a pretty decent ratio. It'll cast Infernal Shock. Those are 250 damage for a 10-second cast time. And you can use it at level 40, which is kind of nice. And the Vermilion Robe of Torn Faction. This is the robe. This will give you a conflagration with a 15-second cast time, and you can cast this at level 42. This will do a 650 direct damage, so the ratio on this one's a little bit better. That's a nice item too. And we'll keep on moving on to Lucklin. This is optional. This is a right-click shrink item. Bracelet of a Shadow Hive. You can cast it on your group and yourself. Circle of Smoke. I tried to get this on all my characters. It's a right-click gate. Not having to memorize gate is really nice. The cast time's kind of long, but not having to mem gate it's just so nice not having to mem it. Dagger of Entrapment is a high priority. You can get this. This is a right-click snare item. The cast time on it's a little bit long, but a mana-less snare is really nice to have. I'll try to pick that one up. It is somewhat rare, so keep that in mind. Flowing Gossamer Cloak. This is a pretty high priority too. Right-click Levitation. It's really nice not having to mem leb all the time. Gloves of Warding is a low priority. This will give you plus 50 magic resist, and I don't think these stack with the flowers, and they might not stack with Elemental Barrier, so I just kind of threw them on here, but if you want to pick them up, you can. Hoop of Emptiness is going to be a Dispel item. This will give Nullify Magic with a 5-second cast time. This is like medium priority. This is kind of nice to have, but there's going to be a better one than this. That'll be a high priority. Ice Shatter will give you an ice direct damage. This is from Ivy and Akiva Ruins. It's going to give you 325 for a 13-second cast time. This is a low. It's just like an ice clicky, so it's pretty low priority because the cast time's so long. But this may be a fun toy. Jade Skull Ring. This will give you Annual Magic, which is going to dispel 2 debuffs or buffs, and maybe just buffs. I can't remember. Could be both, but it's a 7.5-second cast time. It's kind of long, so this will probably be your worst dispel clicky, but if you don't have one, it's better than nothing. Kodiak's Robe of Heightened Focus. This is going to give you 5 mana regen in the form of an AA, so really nice. That's a high priority if you can get it. Opaline Charm is right-click Gather Shadows, so if you can't get the Ring of Stealthy Travel from Kunark, this is another alternative to that, but this one has 3-second cast time where the ring only has 2. Orbital of Lost Souls. This is like a rune / mana regen item. You can pick this up if you want. If you're not taking damage, it's nice to have, but if you are taking damage, it's basically useless, so it's up to you. Ring of Immobilization is a pretty good item. It's going to give right-click Immobilize, which is a root. I would pick this up if you can as a wizard. Not having to memorize root is pretty big. Ring of Resistance is low priority. It's going to give you 10 all resist in the form of an AA. Scepter of Channel Lightning is a right-click magic direct damage. You can pick this up if you want to. It's not a must-have or anything. It's 450 direct damage for magic spells with a 10-second cast time. I don't know if I said that, but yep. So next item we have is Shield of Auras. This is another rune / mana regen item. I think the rune on this is 300 damage, so it's a little bit more than some of the other ones. And it's going to give you 3 mana regen too. So if you want to pick this up, it's a good item to have for some extra mana regen if you're not taking any damage. Silver Bane of Secrets. This is a really high priority. This will give you 250 to your maximum mana pool in the form of an AA. Wand of Imperceptibility. This is a shrink item. Stealth only with 8-second cast time. Wristband of Secrets is the best dispel item in the game. It just rips through debuffs extremely quickly. It'll do 4 debuffs or buffs at a time. It only has a 3-second cast time on it, so you can just spam this. This is a really, really, really nice item. So the next two are just some Sal boots. They're both Sal only, or they're both self only. This one's like, you got to kill Kadi Shah, I believe, to get this, and it's like a quest. And people don't really farm Kadi Shah because this is kind of a pain. The better and easier option is Lord Ciro boots. You can get the Sal Clicky from him. Planes of Power. There's a lot of good clickies in Planes of Power. The first one is the Ornate Pants. This will give you a right-click Decession. Next we have the Ornate Robe, which will give you Shield of the Malon. And this is your pop level shield, so I'd pick that up as well. Both of these are, I would get those as soon as you can. They're just nice quality of life, especially the robe. Bangle of Disease Warning is completely optional. Right-click, resist disease, instant cast. I don't know if this stacks with the Elemental Barrier, or whatever the the disease resist one that wizards get is. I don't have this on my wizard. I do have it on my warrior, so I don't know if it stacks with the wizard or not. Next we have Celestial Cloak. This will give you a right click 5 mana regen, so if you couldn't get the Emperor robe, this is a good alternative to that. Earring of Celestial Energy is optional. It's going to give you plus 20 all resist in the form of an AA. Eye of Dreams is high priority. It's going to give you plus 400 to your mana pool, and it will overwrite the Vexthal one, so they don't like stack and combine together. So if you get this, you'll get 400 from whatever your base is, but this is really high priority. I'd pick that up. Malin's Legging of Lore are your elemental legs. Right click Concussion. You're definitely going to want to get these, and they're fairly easy to get since they drop in phase 3 of Plane of Time quite frequently. So you'll definitely be able to get these, and they're really nice. Manacle of Disruption. This is another gather shadows option. It's a little bit, again, I'd still get Ring of Stealthy Travel over this, but if you for some reason you're able to get this and you don't have the other one, you can pick this up. Shell of Eternal Forces is best in slot just because the stats on it are so good. It also will give you 8 mana regen in the form of an AA. Time Traveler's Abandoned Notebook. I would definitely pick this one up. This drops in phase 3 in Plane of Time. It's going to give you a right-click Translocate. Wand of Impenetrable Force will give you a right-click Force Shield. You're definitely going to want to pick this up. And Force Shield also gives you, it's either 2 or 3 mana regen. I honestly don't remember. But it has a 750 point shield, and this is just like a full-on big upgrade to your epic staff. Wand of the Vortex will give you a right-click Annual Magic, which does 2 debuffs. Again, this isn't as good as the Wristband of Secrets, but if you don't have that, this is probably your second best choice. Lost Dungeons of Norath, there's only a couple items here. The first is, this bugs out a little bit sometimes. Cloak of the Fleeting Foot. This will give you a right-click Sow. This is completely optional. You can cast the Sow on other people or on yourself, so it's just a really nice item to have with you, but it's definitely not necessary. And other people will be amazed when a wizard gives them Sow. Dark Flacatory. Again, this is another optional item. This will give you a right-click regen. You can cast this on other people. You can cast it on yourself. It's instant cast, so it's just a fun toy. And it's really good to cast on low levels. And lastly, we have, let's see if we can get this to come up top. There we go. Silvery Slippers of the Evoker. This is definitely really nice to have as well. It will give you Ice Flame of ECI, which applies extra cold damage to your level 60 cold damage spells. And not having to memorize that is awesome. So I would definitely pick that one up. And that pretty much covers everything. If this was helpful, please make sure to like the video and also please subscribe. All right, thanks guys. Bye.